Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Rick Harrison. Rick Harrison, the American businessman and reality television personality best known for his role on the History Channel's hit show Pawn Stars, has endured profound personal tragedies that have deeply affected his life and career. While Rick himself is alive, his family has suffered significant losses, including the deaths of his father, Richard Benjamin Harrison Jr., and his son, Adam Harrison. Rick Harrison was born on March 22, 1965, and is the co-owner of the Gold and a 22 silver pawn shop in Las Vegas, Nevada, which he opened with his father in 1989. The shop became famous through the reality TV series Pawn Stars, which debuted in 2009 and showcased the daily workings of the shop alongside the interactions with customers and the appraisal of unique items. Rick's business acumen and engaging personality made him a beloved figure in reality television and the pawn industry. The first major loss in Rick's family came in 2018, when his father and business partner, Richard Benjamin Harrison Jr., known affectionately as the Old Man, passed away at the age of 77 after a battle with Parkinson's disease. Richard Harrison was a cornerstone of the Pawn Stars series and was widely admired for his no-nonsense attitude, wisdom, and humor. Rick paid tribute to his father on Instagram, calling him his hero, and reflecting on the privilege of sharing his father's legacy with fans worldwide. Richard's death marked the end of an era for the show and left a lasting void in Rick's personal and professional life. Just a few years later, Rick faced another devastating blow. In January 2024, his son, Adam Harrison, tragically died at the age of 39 due to an accidental overdose involving fentanyl and methamphetamine. Adam struggled with substance abuse for many years, and Rick openly shared the painful journey of trying to help his son through multiple rehab attempts. Despite his efforts, Adam's addiction ultimately claimed his life, a loss that Rick described as the greatest pain imaginable. He expressed the relentless questioning and grief that come with losing a child, emphasizing the heavy emotional toll it has taken on him and his family. Rick Harrison has since become an advocate for addressing the fentanyl crisis in the United States, using his platform to raise awareness about the dangers of drug overdoses and the urgent need for stronger drug control measures. He has also honored Adam's memory by setting up an education fund for Adam's son, Colton, ensuring that his grandson's future is supported despite the family's tragedy. Throughout these hardships, Rick has continued to run the Gold and Silver pawn shop alongside his son, Corey Harrison, and friend Austin Chumley Russell, maintaining the spirit of the family business that has been a fixture in Las Vegas for decades. The Pawn Stars show remains popular, with season 23 premiering in January 2025, though the family has chosen not to focus on Adam's passing in the series, respecting their privacy during this difficult time. Rick Harrison's story is one of resilience amid sorrow. From building a successful business and television career to enduring heartbreaking personal losses, he embodies the struggles and strength of a family bound by love, hard work, and perseverance. His openness about grief and addiction has resonated, with many shedding light on the human side of fame and the universal challenges faced by families everywhere. Gary England. Gary England was a pioneering meteorologist and a beloved figure in Oklahoma, renowned for his groundbreaking contributions to weather forecasting and public safety over a remarkable career spanning more than 4 decades at KWTV-DT, News 9, Oklahoma. Born on October 3, 1939, in Selleck, Oklahoma, England's early fascination with weather was shaped by witnessing devastating tornadoes in his youth, including the catastrophic 1947 Glacier-Higgins-Woodward tornadoes that claimed over 100 lives in nearby Woodward. This early experience ignited a lifelong passion for meteorology and public service. After graduating from Selleck High School in 1957, England joined the U.S. Navy at age 17, where he began formal studies in weather. He later earned a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics and meteorology from the University of Oklahoma in 1965. Before returning to Oklahoma, he worked as a consulting meteorologist and oceanographer in New Orleans, gaining valuable experience in his field. England's career at KWTV began in the early 1970s, and he quickly became a trusted voice for Oklahomans facing the state's notoriously volatile weather. He was the first on-air meteorologist in the world to use commercial Doppler radar to issue a tornado warning directly to viewers, revolutionizing severe weather forecasting and saving countless lives. His innovative spirit led to the creation of the first warning map graphic, which allowed viewers to see ongoing weather alerts without interrupting programming, and the development of the storm tracker system to predict storm arrival times. His dedication to enhancing weather awareness extended beyond technology. England's calm, reassuring presence during severe weather events earned him the affectionate nickname, the Weather God of Oklahoma City, and made him a staple in households across the state for over 40 years. His signature phrases like, "Let's check it out," and his enthusiastic celebrations of local events became part of Oklahoma's cultural fabric. England's influence was widely recognized within the meteorological community and beyond. NPR dubbed him Oklahoma's masterologist, and he received numerous awards for his contributions to weather safety and broadcasting. He was inducted into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame in 2013 and continued to serve as Vice President of Corporate Relations and Weather Development for Griffin Communications, KWTV's parent company. After retiring from on-air duties, colleagues, public officials, and fans alike have paid tribute to England's legacy. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford described him as a pioneering force in television meteorology, whose innovations undoubtedly saved countless lives across the country. Current KWTV chief meteorologist David Payne called him our calm in the storm and emphasized the lasting impact of his work on severe weather prediction and public safety. The National Storm Chasers Summit remembered him as a hero, a role model, and a pioneer who was also a kind human. Beyond his professional achievements, England was deeply devoted to his family. He and his wife Mary shared over 6 decades of marriage, and he cherished his daughter Molly and granddaughters Cassidy and Chloe. Despite his fame, England remained humble and focused on the mission of protecting lives and educating the public about weather hazards. Gary England's passing marks the loss of a true legend in meteorology and broadcasting. His pioneering work fundamentally transformed how severe weather is tracked and communicated, particularly in tornado-prone Oklahoma. His legacy endures in the lives he saved, the meteorologists he inspired, and the community he served with unwavering dedication and compassion. Khadiyah. K.D. Lewis. Khadiyah Lewis was born on March 31, 1981, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where she would eventually be laid to rest. She first gained national recognition through her appearances on the VH1 reality series Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, prominently featured during seasons 3 and 4. On the show, she was known for her relationship with rapper Young Jock, which became a major storyline due to its ups and downs, including complications involving family dynamics. Beyond her television presence, Khadiyah was a multifaceted entrepreneur. identifying herself as an entrepreneur, speaker, consultant, accountant, and brand ambassador. She owned 3 businesses, including a real estate investment firm, a consulting agency, and a financial services company, demonstrating her business acumen and commitment to empowering others. Her sudden passing was confirmed by her brother, Jamal J. Lewis, and further honored by her younger brother, Elijah Inegbedian, who shared an emotional tribute on social media. Elijah expressed his profound grief and admiration, stating, "Been at a loss for words for some days now. And to think that I'll ever have the words to describe the person you've been and the legacy that you left behind would be erroneous." He continued, "Long live my sister, Khadiyah Lewis. You left behind a legacy most individuals can only dream of. Thank you for loving me the way you did, and always having my back no matter what. God blessed me when He made me your baby brother, and for that I am eternally thankful. You are forever on my mind and in my heart. I love you." The family has requested privacy and has not disclosed the cause of her death. A funeral service was held on June 14, 2025, at the Earl M. Temple Memorial Chapel in Oklahoma City, and a virtual memorial via Zoom was organized to allow friends and fans from afar to honor her life. Khadiyah's impact extended beyond her television fame. She was recognized as a mentor who provided guidance and inspiration to many aspiring entrepreneurs and business professionals. Her dedication to her businesses and her role as a brand ambassador showcased her commitment to success and empowerment within her community. Her presence on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta brought visibility to her life and struggles, but it was her entrepreneurial drive and mentorship that truly defined her legacy. Fans and colleagues alike mourned her loss, sharing condolences and remembering her beauty, strength, and the inspiration she provided. Her story is a reminder of the complexities behind reality TV personas and the real lives and challenges they face. Khadiyah. K.D. Lewis's passing is a significant loss to her family, friends, and fans. Her legacy as a businesswoman, mentor, and reality TV star continues to inspire those who knew her and those who followed her. Journey on screen. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck is alive as of 2025 and remains an iconic figure in American television and film. Born Thomas William Selleck on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, Michigan, he rose to fame with his breakout role as Private Investigator Thomas Magnum in the television series Magnum P.I. 1980-1988. This role earned him 5 Emmy Award nominations for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. Winning once in 1985, Selleck's career spans over 5 decades, during which he has appeared in more than 50 films and television projects. Besides Magnum, P.I., he is well known for playing Dr. Richard Burke on Friends, A.J. Cooper on Las Vegas, and the small-town police chief Jesse Stone in a series of made-for-TV movies based on Robert B. Parker's novels. From 2010 until 2024, he starred as New York City Police Commissioner Frank Reagan in the CBS drama Blue Bloods. His film career includes notable roles such as bachelor architect Peter Mitchell in 3 Men and a Baby, 1987, and its sequel, 3 Men and a Little Lady, 1990, as well as appearances in Quigley Down Under, Mr. Baseball, and Lassiter. 3 Men and a Baby was the highest-grossing film of 1987, cementing Selleck's status as a leading man in Hollywood. Before his acting breakthrough, Selleck was a collegiate athlete on a basketball scholarship at the University of Southern California. He also served as an infantryman in the California Army National Guard from 1967 to 1973, attaining the rank of sergeant. An interesting fact about Selleck's career is that he was originally considered for the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but had to decline due to contractual obligations with Magnum PI. The role eventually went to Harrison Ford. Selleck has expressed pride in honoring his commitments, stating that he valued integrity over career shortcuts. Beyond acting, Selleck has been active as a spokesman for the National Rifle Association and co-founder of the Character Counts organization, reflecting his engagement with civic and social causes. Tom Selleck's enduring appeal lies in his charismatic screen presence, versatility, and professionalism. He has become a beloved figure, not only for his memorable roles, but also for his off-screen persona as a dedicated family man and community advocate. Patricia Fuenmayor, after a courageous battle with cancer. She was a former Miss South America winner and a respected Venezuelan television presenter who made a significant impact both in her home country and later as a correspondent in New York for Univision Z. Despierta America. Born in Venezuela, Patricia first rose to prominence in the world of beauty pageants. She represented Zulia State in the 1997 Miss Venezuela pageant, where she was among the top 8 finalists. Following this, she earned the title of Miss South America in 1998, a victory that brought her recognition across Latin America and opened doors to a career in media. Transitioning from pageantry to journalism, she obtained a degree in communications from Universidad Santa Maria in Caracas and began working as a television presenter and journalist. Patricia's career was marked by versatility and dedication. She worked with various Latin American networks, including Venezuelan in Caracas, and hosted her own program, De Boca en Boca, where she interviewed prominent artists such as Shakira and Mark Anthony. Her engaging style and professionalism earned her respect and affection from colleagues and viewers alike. Her life took a dramatic turn when her husband, Dr. Jorge Safar, a plastic surgeon, was kidnapped in Venezuela. This traumatic event forced Patricia and her family into exile, relocating to the United States for safety. Settling in New York, she rebuilt her career as a correspondent for Univision 41, contributing to Edition Digital and becoming a familiar and trusted face on Despierta America. Patricia's reporting often focused on stories that resonated with the Latino immigrant community, and her warmth and authenticity made her a beloved figure among viewers. Despite her professional success, Patricia faced personal challenges, including a private battle with cancer that she fought with courage and dignity. Her illness was kept largely private until her passing, which was announced on June 9, 2025, by her colleagues on Despierta America. The news deeply saddened the media community and her fans, who flooded social media with tributes and condolences. Colleagues remembered Patricia as a passionate, professional, and compassionate journalist. Eliangelica Gonzalez, a fellow anchor, expressed her grief publicly, saying, "What a great pain, Patricia. May God receive you in His holy glory, give strength to your family, and comfort your beloved children." Raul Gonzalez, a host on Despierta America, spoke emotionally about her dedication and the light she brought to her work and team. Patricia is survived by her husband, Jorge Safar, and their children. Her final social media posts reflected her love for her family and hope for the future, with one of her last Instagram messages wishing blessings and happiness to her followers for the new year. Her passing leaves a void in the Latin American journalism community, and among those who admired her journey from beauty queen to respected journalist. Patricia Fuenmayor's legacy is one of resilience, grace, and commitment to storytelling that touched many lives across continents. Richard Kevin Harrison. Richard Kevin Harrison was born on March 22, 1965, in Lexington, North Carolina. The Third child of Navy veteran Richard Benjamin, the Old Man Harrison Jr., and real estate broker Joanne Rue Harrison. Because the elder Harrison's 20-year Navy career meant frequent transfers, Rick's early life unfolded as a nomadic adventure that carried the family through Virginia, Tennessee, and finally, San Diego, California. Constant upheaval turned him into a keen observer. With every relocation, he studied new flea market cultures, learned the value of regional curiosities, and nurtured an obsession with history books that offered a sense of permanence. An epileptic disorder diagnosed at age 8 confined him to bed for long stretches. And during those quiet hours, he pored over coin price catalogs, memorizing mintage figures the way other children memorized batting averages. Those self-directed lessons became the bedrock of a future appraisal empire. School soon took a back seat to commerce. By 14, Rick was buying broken transistor radios at swap meets, repairing them in the garage, and reselling them for 4 times. The cost. He kept meticulous ledgers, comparing margins against those of professional pawnbrokers, and grew convinced that knowledge, not luck, determined profit. Despite his mother's hopes for college, he left high school in 10th grade to help. His father ran the family's gold and silver coin shop, then housed in a cramped San Diego strip mall booth. Rick's charisma, sharpened by years of entertaining younger siblings during long car rides, pulled customers off the sidewalk, while his encyclopedic recall of numismatic trivia turned casual browsers into devoted buyers. Within 2 years, he had diversified inventory beyond coins, pioneering a trade-in program for jewelry that doubled weekly revenue. A defining pivot arrived in 1981 when a recession gutted the coin market. Rather than retreat, Rick persuaded his father to expand into general pawn operations, accepting anything of value as collateral. California's zoning laws were restrictive, so the family aimed for Las Vegas, where 24-hour activity promised an endless stream of sellers. In 1988, they opened the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop on a gritty northern stretch of Las Vegas Boulevard. Rick, then only 23, designed the floor plan, stocked cases with silver bullion and vintage guitars, and instituted a never-before-seen 24-hour schedule to catch casino workers coming off graveyard shifts. His ability to authenticate, a 1932 St. Anise, Godin's double eagle by touch, turned the shop into a destination for serious collectors and night owl tourists alike. Television interest simmered for nearly a decade. Producers loved the shop's chaotic energy, but struggled to frame a show around pawn culture. Rick's persistence paid off in 2008 when Left Field Pictures filmed a test reel that balanced appraisal suspense with father-son repartee. History Channel green-lit the series, and Pawn Stars premiered on July 19, 2009, drawing the network's highest debut ratings. Rick became the de facto narrator, translating complex market forces into plain-spoken quips, and demonstrating that haggling could be both educational and entertaining. Within 2 seasons, the family business had become a Las Vegas landmark, welcoming up to 5,000 daily visitors and spawning guided tours that trace the shop's evolution from coin stand to cultural touchstone. Fame refused to stay on cable. In 2011, Rick published License to Pawn, a memoir blending outrageous customer encounters with lessons on calculated risk. The book spent 6 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. He followed with merchandise, lines that included limited edition silver rounds, a signature bourbon, and even a virtual reality tour of the pawn floor. In 2012, he partnered with Las Vegas comedy troupe Vinyl to produce Pawn Shop Live, a satirical stage musical retelling his life story. Critics were mixed, but audiences packed the Golden Nugget showroom to hear actors crun about haggling and heartbreak. The production underscored Harrison's willingness to poke fun at his own celebrity while testing new storytelling forms. philanthropy paralleled his commercial ascent. Motivated by memories of childhood seizures, Rick teamed with the Epilepsy Foundation of Nevada to fund diagnostic clinics and patient outreach programs. He auctioned signed guitars, donated appearance fees, and once covered a year of medication for every pediatric epilepsy patient in Clark County. "My best interest rate is compassion," he joked during a 2013 gala, redefining profit in terms of community wellness. That same year, he enrolled in executive development courses at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Professors noted that he arrived early, asked for extra reading, and turned every supply chain case study into a story about medieval armor or 1970s muscle cars. Rick also invested heavily in revitalizing downtown Las Vegas. He co-founded Pawn Plaza, a retail center built from repurposed shipping containers that housed restaurants, an antique arcade, and Rick's Rollin' Smoke Barbecue and Tavern, where he could often be found pouring whiskey for tourists after closing time. By the end of 2013, the kid who once hustled garage sale radios had become an ambassador for American small business, appearing on CNBC to dissect gold price swings one day and on university stages the next to discuss ethical lending. His guiding credo: every object tells a story, and success lies in connecting that story to someone who values it, would steer him through the triumphs and tragedies that awaited in the decade ahead. Rick's ascent came with personal trials that tested both his resilience and his public image. Behind the cameras, he wrestled with chronic insomnia, a byproduct of childhood epilepsy medication that left him wired long after a filming day wrapped. Doctors recommended cognitive behavioral therapy rather than pharmaceuticals, prompting him to overhaul his nightly routine. He traded late-night blackjack sessions for guided meditation, converted a spare room into a darkened sensory reduction chamber, and tracked sleep quality with the same zeal he once devoted to vintage Rolex serial numbers. On Pawn Stars, he seldom mentioned the struggle, but sharp-eyed fans noticed the shift when he appeared slimmer and more relaxed during season 12. A ketogenic diet, initially adopted to stabilize blood glucose and reduce seizure risk, helped him shed 30 lbs without compromising his trademark energy. He became an advocate for nutritional self-experimenters, inviting dietitians onto his short-lived podcast, The Negotiator's Edge, to discuss how biochemistry influences negotiation stamina. Financial success also magnified family dynamics. His eldest son, Corey, groomed from childhood to inherit the shop, battled substance abuse in his early 20s. Rick faced the crisis, not his boss, but his father, shutting down production for 2 weeks. In 2014, to escort Corey through an intensive rehab program in Arizona. The hiatus risked violating History Channel contracts. Yet ratings spiked upon the show's return, buoyed by public admiration for Rick's unapologetic prioritization of family. The incident strengthened their bond and inspired a recurring life lesson segment in later episodes where Rick dissected business missteps alongside personal anecdotes, reinforcing that accountability fuels both profit and recovery. Tragedy struck in June 2018 when Richard, the old man Harrison, succumbed to Parkinson's-related complications. Rick delivered an unscripted eulogy filmed after hours in the silent showroom, reflecting on the father who taught him that every loan is a story unfinished. The episode drew record audiences and earned a Primetime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Unstructured Reality Program, validating reality TV's capacity for raw, unsensational grief. In the aftermath, Rick assumed full ownership of the shop and quietly restructured its profit-sharing model, granting longtime employees equity stakes to honor his father's ethos of shared sacrifice. He later disclosed that the move significantly lowered staff turnover and boosted appraisal accuracy, citing measurable improvements in customer loyalty metrics. Legal entanglements emerged in 2021 when a former business partner filed suit alleging misallocation of merchandising royalties. Court documents revealed complex licensing deals funneled through multiple LLCs, but a forensic audit commissioned by Rick demonstrated clean accounting, and the case was dismissed with prejudice. The ordeal, while stressful, showcased his meticulous record-keeping. He published anonymized spreadsheets on social media to educate followers about transparent revenue streams, turning litigation into a masterclass on intellectual property stewardship. Fans celebrated the victory with the #receipts. Like a Rick and MBA programs, invited him to guest lecture on brand monetization. Throughout these upheavals, Rick maintained a relentless filming schedule, often clocking 80 hours per week between appraisal shoots and post-production voiceovers. In 2022, he negotiated a landmark 10-season extension, guaranteeing editorial control. A first for History Channel talent. The contract allowed him to weave educational mini-documentaries into episodes such as deep dives into Civil War medical kits or the socio-economic impact of Weimar hyperinflation reflected in coinage. Viewership among 18 to 24-year-olds climbed 10%, defying broader trends of cord-cutting and reaffirming his thesis that curiosity drives retention, more than spectacle. Beyond television, Rick ventured onto legitimate theater stages in 2023 with a cameo in the Las Vegas production of Hamilton, portraying Samuel Sabary in a special charity performance that raised $1 million for veterans' housing. Critics praised his surprisingly steady tenor and timing, noting that decades of obeying a producer's in-ear prompts translated well to musical cues. Emboldened, he joined an off-Broadway workshop of Hard Money, a drama exploring pawn culture during the Great Depression. While the play is still seeking funding, his participation signaled a commitment to blending historical narration with live performance. Rick's health narrative took another turn in late 2023 when routine blood work uncovered early-stage type 2 diabetes. Viewing the diagnosis as another negotiation, he partnered with an endocrinologist to swap keto for a Mediterranean regimen rich in olive oil and legumes, documented the journey on Instagram stories, and installed under-desk treadmills for himself and editors in the post-production suite. By mid-2024, his A1C declined to normal range, and he donated the equivalent of his annual insulin savings, nearly $40,000, to free clinics across Nevada. Commentators lauded the gesture as emblematic of capitalism with conscience, a phrase Rick embraced in keynote speeches at small business conferences. Simultaneously, he survived a mild bout of COVID-19 that sidelined filming for only a week, crediting up-to-date vaccinations and a regimen of nasal spray antivirals sourced through clinical trial contacts. He leveraged the downtime to author a second book, tentatively titled Conditional Offers: Negotiating Health, Wealth, and Happiness, slated for release in 2026 and forecasted by publishers to dominate business self-help charts. Rick's appetite for innovation accelerated from 2024 forward, turning the gold and silver brand into a diversified portfolio that stretched far beyond the original pawn counter. Early that year, he unveiled Pawn Stars Do America, a History Channel road trip spin-off that transformed appraisal segments into national treasure hunts, with Rick, Corey, and Austin, Chumley, Russell crisscrossing the country in a custom tour bus. Each episode climaxed in a live audience auction that donated 10% of hammer price to local historical societies, melding entertainment with preservation activism. To manage the traveling show, Rick leveraged a cloud-based inventory system capable of generating real-time provenance reports, a technological leap that later became an industry standard. Simultaneously, he launched gold and silver education, an online certificate program teaching authentication techniques for vintage firearms, sports memorabilia, and luxury watches. By the end of its first quarter, the platform counted $13,000, paid enrolls, and earned accreditation from the International Society of Appraisers, cementing Rick's status as a pedagogue as well as a dealer. Beyond broadcasting, he chased brick-and-mortar expansion with the same zeal he once reserved for rare coins. In late 2024, he opened a Miami satellite store specializing in Latin American art, partnering with Cuban-American curator Maria Elena Ortega to source mid-century pieces previously underrepresented in U.S. markets. The venture faced backlash from competitors who accused Harrison of diluting the mom and pop allure that made the original shop endearing. Rick countered by live streaming behind-the-scenes curatorial meetings, demonstrating stringent acquisition standards and reinvesting 5% of profits into scholarships for Latino art historians. His transparent model silenced critics and drew praise from the Smithsonian's Latino Center, which credited the store with widening public exposure to Caribbean abstractionists like Fredo Lam and Amelia Palacios. Technological curiosity drove him into mixed reality. Next, teaming with a Bay Area startup, he developed Holopon, an augmented reality headset experience that lets users place holographic antiques on their dining tables, rotate them, and read scholarly annotations indexed to Rick's voice. Launched at the 2025 Consumer Electronics Show, the demo attracted queues longer than those for flagship smartphones, and pre-orders surpassed 60,000 units in 48 hours. Analysts initially scoffed at the notion that a pawnbroker could disrupt edutainment hardware, but patent filings revealed proprietary object scanning algorithms capable of detecting microfractures in porcelain technology. The Department of Always Interior later licensed to assess artifacts excavated from Native American sites. Rick's deal earmarked royalties for tribal heritage funds, further entwining capitalist ambition with cultural stewardship. Yet expansion bred new hurdles. A whistleblower complaint surfaced, alleging that a mid-level manager at Pawn Plaza underpaid hourly staff. Rick initiated a top-down audit, fired the implicated supervisor, and overhauled payroll protocols to include anonymous tip lines and quarterly external wage reviews. He publicly apologized in a 3-minute Instagram Reel statement, wearing his shop apron rather than a blazer, insisting that accountability starts at the till. The swift, transparent response not only quelled calls for boycott, but also inspired HR reform templates adopted by several Nevada small business associations. When asked on CNBC if the scandal tarnished his legacy, he replied, "Reputation is like a rare coin. You keep it polished by handling it honestly, or you watch it corrode." Politically, Rick's libertarian streak hardened into explicit advocacy. He headlined the 2025 Conservative Political Action Conference, delivering a keynote on deregulating small loan caps to combat predatory payday lending. Critics accused him of self-interest, but nonprofit policy watchdogs conceded that his proposed tiered interest model could, if enforced transparently, undercut exploitation by high-fee lenders. Rick balanced the speech with donations to financial literacy programs in underfunded high schools, arguing that informed borrowers negate the need for paternalistic regulation. Later that year, he debated a consumer protection attorney on NPR's Marketplace, earning accolades for articulating complex APR mathematics in plain language. Yet another demonstration of his communicator's dexterity. Family life entered a period of renewal. Corey celebrated 3 years of sobriety by launching Full Tilt Restoration, a spin-off YouTube channel rehabilitating dilapidated jukeboxes and pinball machines. Rick appeared in the premiere episode, trading paternal sternness for playful ribbing, and fans applauded their evolving dynamic from crisis to collaboration. Meanwhile, Rick's second wife, legal nurse consultant Deanna Burdett, founded a wellness retreat outside Sedona, Arizona, using profits from rare book sales Rick facilitated at Christie's. Observers noted the couple's symbiotic philanthropy. Her holistic health scholarships dovetailed with his epilepsy and diabetes initiatives, creating a family brand rooted in resilience and renewal. Health Sea Care remained a continuous thread. Annual neuroiming in early 2025 revealed no epileptiform activity, allowing his neurologist to taper medication for the first time since childhood. In celebration, Rick completed a 50-kilometer charity bike ride across the Mojave Desert, raising $500,000 for telemedicine programs supporting rural seizure patients. He documented the grueling trek in a 6-part vlog series, candidly displaying blood sugar spikes and electrolyte crashes, proving that vulnerability can coexist with showman polish. The series trended on TikTok, where Generation Z viewers, he once presumed indifferent to cable relics, dubbed him Pawn Dad, a hashtag that generated over 200 million views and sparked a surge of teenage visitors to the Vegas shop. By mid-2025, valuations placed the Harrison empire at an estimated $200 million. Yet Rick still clocked in behind the pawn counter twice a week, greeting fans with the signature question, "What do you got?" Those encounters often ended with selfies, but occasionally they yielded history-making finds, such as an original NASA Apollo checklist sold to the shop by a retired technician. Rick authenticated the item live and later loaned it to the National Air and Space Museum, striking a precedent-setting arrangement that let a private pawnbroker retain ownership while ensuring public exhibition. Curators hailed the deal as a blueprint for future collaborations between independent collectors and cultural institutions. The summer of 2025 finds Rick Harrison operating at a careful equilibrium of commerce, celebrity, and contemplative simplicity, a balance, he admits, took decades to negotiate. He begins most mornings before sunrise on the expansive porch of his Henderson, Nevada residence, sipping single-origin coffee while reading 19th-century congressional reports that inspire future appraisal segments. By 8 hours, he is steering his black 1973 Plymouth Cuda along Interstate 15 toward the shop, its engine growling a reminder of the raw mechanics he loves more than modern luxury. 2 days each week, he films fresh Pawn Stars content. The remaining days are reserved for unannounced walk-ins because, as he tells staff, history prefers surprise entrances. Between customer negotiations, he consults with curators from national museums requesting temporary loans, signs batches of Holopan authentication certificates, and records bite-sized financial literacy reels that his social media manager posts hourly across TikTok and Instagram, keeping the brand omnipresent without saturating any single feed. Evenings reveal the quieter threads of his life. At 6, he returns home to a minimalist kitchen where Deanna prepares Mediterranean dinners, heavy on grilled vegetables and wild-caught salmon dishes chosen to stabilize his glucose while honoring her wellness retreat ethos. Afterward, they retreat to an acoustically treated den where Rick alternates between repairing vintage tube amplifiers and rehearsing spoken-word passages for an upcoming Smithsonian touring exhibit on American entrepreneurship. When insomnia teases a comeback, he dons noise-canceling headphones and walks the property's perimeter under desert starlight, dictating revisions for conditional offers into a handheld recorder. Weekends, however, are sacrosanct. Saturdays are reserved for Corey's pinball restorations. Father and son elbow deep in lacquer and solder, while Sundays see Rick leading a 20-mile group bike ride whose open invitation has grown from 4 friends to 70 local residents. Each ride ending with barbecue at Pawn Plaza and a Q&A on negotiation ethics. Public perception has matured alongside the man himself. Early stereotypes painted him as a shrewd dealmaker profiting from desperate sellers. Yet, a decade of charitable transparency has reframed him as a populist historian who monetizes curiosity rather than hardship. Mainstream critics praise his educational detours on air, noting that appraisal segments increasingly pivot toward cultural context instead of cash value. An editorial choice credited with driving sustained ratings in an era of reality TV fatigue. Academic journals cite his business model in case studies on adaptive branding, while MBA students flood his mentorship lottery for a chance to shadow him during Las Vegas gem shows. Still, detractors remain. Labor rights bloggers question whether the equity program truly offsets wage stagnation, and art purists bristle at a pawnbroker gatekeeping museum-quality artifacts. Rick's response is characteristically pragmatic, philosophical. Every collection is provisional. The real owner is time. The phrase has migrated onto motivational posters in co-working spaces, emblematic of his strange perch between capitalism and cultural custodianship. Financially, the empire stands robust, yet deliberately unleveraged, with outside analysts estimating less than 10% debt against asset value.